the Director General of IUCN, but also my background is a lawyer. And so the topics that we will discuss today will bring together law and nature conservation. And those are very close to my heart, but also very close to what we do in IUCN. The protection of the natural world and the law are more deeply connected than they might appear on the surface. And we are all here today at this important event because we know that our planet is facing an environmental crisis. The challenges are deep, and they are largely due to the impact of pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss. But I am sure that we all know this. Therefore, to conserve the natural world and to protect the processes that give us clear air, water, food, and health, we must address pollution, we must address the climate change, and we must address biodiversity together and not in separate boxes. I think that many of us are saying this, that we cannot continue speaking of these triple crisis in different boxes and with different people. So we have, I will say that we have political action that is, heading in the right direction, that we have also concrete actions coming from diverse sectors, private sector, agricultural sector, that can lead the way. And of course, we have very important communities on the ground that are making efforts to address these challenges. And as also other speakers mentioned before me, I need to mention the importance of indigenous peoples and the relevance of the wisdom and traditional knowledge that many of us need to embrace and better understand. So we can see progress, and we need to believe that change is possible. I like very much what my colleague and friend Elizabeth mentioned in her remarks, that she hoped that some of us will also mention the positive side. So I am a positive, and I think that we are making progress and that the change is possible. However, what is going on now is that things are moving far too slow. And we really need to put some traction into the actions that are happening around us, because we do have good examples. We do have indigenous peoples on our side. We do have much political willingness. I mean, one cannot say 100%, but I am sure that we have a lot of political willingness, because this is what we are talking is not less than our own well-being as humans. So on this journey, where we can no longer afford to wait, we must use all tools at our disposal. And one of them, and very important, is law. After all, law provides the framework that governs our societies and instructs us on how we have to behave and act. Give us the lines on how we need to live, in society. And this is not just for countries, but we have these principles and these laws all around us for our day-to-day lives. So law has far-reaching implications that affect agricultural systems, international trade, and the livelihoods of millions of people all around the world. So for the many lawyers that are joining this symposium, yes, we as lawyers, we do have a lot of responsibility in our hands to do our job the best way we can. That is why the construction of a strong legal foundation will help us to ensure effective collaboration and cooperation, and as a result, allow us to meaningfully implement agreements like the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So, sometimes people ask me if, about Grethel, the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework is, comes from many experts and governments and the voices of many people. Yes, indeed. But I am sure, and Elizabeth can correct me if this is not right, that many lawyers were also involved in putting this together, because we need to make these agreements clear. We need to achieve for everybody to understand what is in the text. And that is part in many instances of the job of the lawyers. So about all, I have to say that law will allow us to protect and fulfill human rights, to make sure that access to justice is available to even the most marginalized of peoples. And this is very important also in relation to what other speakers said before me, that yes, equity, justice, and support the most needed people is essential in this journey that we have in saving, to save the planet. So at IUCN, we are a union of over 1,400 members and 17 experts all around the world. We are committed to strengthening the legal foundations of international conventions and agreements, but we are also really committed to work with the governments, with the communities, and with indigenous people. The World Commission on Environmental Law, IUCN's legal brain, has been at the forefront of some of the most exciting things IUCN is doing. The Commission works to enhance the development and strengthen the implementation of environmental law in many countries around this planet. And this is done, for instance, through establishing best practices and strategies for effective compliance and enforcement. It promotes the environmental rule of law globally, particularly in countries that seek to improve their laws and governance systems. And it aims to strengthen the capacity of governments, the judiciary, prosecutors, law schools, and other stakeholders as they develop and implement environmental law. There are many clear examples of international law intersecting with nature conservation. For instance, IUCN, working with this commission, has formally provided legal advice on the obligations of the states when it comes to climate change and responses to the climate change emergency within the framework of international human rights law. It is only through further development in environmental law that we can implement so many frameworks, such as the Paris Agreement, the Sustainable Development Goals, the High Seas Biodiversity Treaty, and of course, the Biodiversity Plan. I have to say also here to stop to say that, laws do not come just from lawyers. And of course, we need to work with so many sectors and so many people to have the right laws, the laws that will respond to the needs of society today, the laws that will think about the future, the laws that will embrace the people that are more in need. Indeed, what cannot overemphasize the importance of the biodiversity plan, or how we know it as the Kunming biodiversity plan, which we all previously knew, with the whole entitled title of Kunming Montreal Biodiversity Framework. This ambitious framework is necessary to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and to reverse the degradation that is so painfully affecting people and nature. With its visionary pathway and ambitious targets, it has set a guiding star for humanity to scale up conservation action like never before. Since it was adopted almost 2 years ago, we have seen positive signs. But of course, we have to do more, and we have to move quickly. We cannot wait until 2030 to say that we didn't achieve what it was said on this agreement. For instance, in 2023 saw the passage of the High Seas Biodiversity Treaty, which was formally adopted in June after almost 2 decades of negotiations. The treaty is expected to contribute significantly to achieving key targets on the biodiversity plan, including protecting 30% of the ocean. Progress was also made in negotiating 2 critical instruments against pollution. The plastic treaty, that is on the discussion at the moment, as well as the science policy panel to contribute further to the sound management of chemicals and waste and to prevent pollution. At IUCN, we are heartened that by this progress, but also see that much remains to be done. For example, I have to say that we all need to keep pushing for the plastics treaty to be in place, to be implemented, and for people to embrace it, because none of us would like to go to the ocean and swim, and between the plastic bottles. It's not. It's something I have in my image. I come from Costa Rica, and I remember going to the beach, playing with shells in beautiful beaches. And lately, I have seen so much plastic in our own beaches that it is really terrible, and it really goes to my heart, and I believe it to the heart of many. So we need to advance. To this end, we continue, IUCN continue to offer conservation tools and knowledge, such as the development of appropriate laws to support parties and key stakeholders as they implement this biodiversity plan. The future holds many challenges, but as I started saying, I'm very optimistic. We humans, we are capable of doing the worst, but we are also very capable to wake up and to do the best for all of us. And I am truly optimistic that we will wake up and we will do the best for our planet, to have together, the type of life that we all deserve, and not only we, but the ones that are to come. Now that almost 2 years have passed since the biodiversity plan has been adopted, and now that we are only 6 years from when we must achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, all stakeholders must walk the talk, beyond just voicing their goodwill. As you might imagine, I have been in many places where I give speeches, but I just think that it's time to walk the talk and show concrete actions that are coming from many places. To turn our goodwill into action, we need to strongly consider binding commitments across all sectors and communities, and we need to implement systems of check and balances to increase accountability and definitely where progress is lacking, and to reward good progress. So let me just finish saying that colleagues, friends, partners, the ones who are connected to this symposium, I do not really believe in a nature conservation community, because if you have a stake in the future of our planet, our one and only home, you are already part of the nature conservation community by definition. This is true regardless of whether you are a lawyer, biologist, doctor, president, or a farmer. It is our duty, all of us, to work together with all sectors before it's too late. Thank you very much.